Hey, what's up, Stringlings? Today we are going to be checking out the Donner Rising G1. Let's check it out. Carbon fiber acoustics are kind of a trend right now. It's a relatively inexpensive material to build with, I believe. It's carbon neutral because it's literally capturing carbon and turning it into a fabric that you can mix with other components to make it into like a hard plastic. It's extremely durable. It's very strong. We've been using it for decades in different industrial applications. We've been using it in boats. And nowadays, using it in acoustic guitars has become something of a niche market, but it's really picking up quite a bit. It does save on wood. It's much more sustainable. And from my understanding and my experience, it's actually not that bad of a deal on the sound. So we're going to check this one out today. This is the Rising G1 from Donner. It is a 3/4 size guitar. This is the gig bag. You can see it has a cleat on the bottom to help it, I guess, lean without sliding. It's actually, Donner has really stepped up their gig bag game. And in the box, before I get the guitar out, it includes this little box of accessories. So we're going to take a peek, see what's in there. Right? So there is a strap. I think it's just a nylon strap with leather ends. Nice. There is a pick guard, which is an interesting choice for a carbon fiber instrument because they don't really scratch. Like, you have to work really hard to scratch them, but it's there if you want it. I don't know that I'm going to be putting it on, but yeah, maybe later. We'll see. What else we got? The quick start guide, because you need a quick start guide for a guitar, I guess. Excuse me. Oh, just some information on how to set the neck and how to change strings and all that. So, excuse me, useful if it's kind of your first foray into acoustic guitars. This is designed, by the way, as a starter package. So, don't be expecting, high-end professional level appointments with it. There is a polishing cloth, which is very handy. These are really nice, actually. Keep a bunch of these around because these things do get fingerprints. And a pack of strings. These are phosphor bronze 11 to 50 phosphor bronze strings. They're Donner branded, so I don't know if they're made by someone else or if they're just, your sort of run-of-the-mill made in China phosphor bronze strings. But there they are. I think. Oh. Some picks. Donner has some really curious-looking picks. I'll put up an actual photo of the picks that they have, but they're pretty dynamic-looking. I've played them. They're not my favorite picks, but they are kind of cool. They have just kind of different points to them and that. And of course the rod, or the Allen key for adjusting the truss rod. But now here's the money shot. So this again is the case. It's quite thick, very well built actually. Like I said, they've really stepped up their game in the last couple of years. And it's a full zipper. And there it is. I'm trying to bang my microphone cord. Jeez, don't know what the coughing is about. There it is. So it has a carbon fiber top. Now it's in quite snug, so you have to nurse it out a little bit. There you go. There is, looks like a pocket on the inside, but the main one is the pocket on the outside. That's the one I like anyway. I don't like things right up against my guitar. Now, in the package, as you can see, I have opened this already. It did have the string wrap on the over the fretboard so as not to damage the frets, and it was wrapped in the usual kind of foamy plastic bag thing. I haven't done any work on this, no setup at all. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tune it, and then we're going to look at the various elements of the guitar itself. So that was a quick tune. Just in terms of construction, it is not a full carbon fiber guitar. Okay, it has a carbon fiber top, which they describe as a 3K pure carbon fiber fabric for the soundboard. This is a layered fabric. It's got African mahogany back and sides, as well as the neck. And these are combined elements. So I believe the sides and back are actually like a mahogany ply. I don't have any issue with that. This is a 3/4 size guitar. It's only going to be as resonant as it's going to be. It's not, it's not a huge dreadnought type instrument. Okay, things that I like though, I love this little offset sound hole. I think that's a great touch because the central sound hole is great and it's standard and it's traditional, but because this is a 3/4 size guitar, this actually puts more of the volume where the player is, so it's going to project a little bit better and make it a little bit easier for the player to hear. Also, I'll put up a picture of the bracing. I think we've got the bracing photo here. It's a little bit different, but the bracing actually comes at a pretty wide angle down the middle, gives the top as much resonance as it can. And I don't know if you can hear, but it drums. Right? So there's a lot of kind of echo in there. Yeah, and like I said, the action is actually pretty good. So if you're coming into this figuring you're going to get like $1 million setup on a perfect guitar, on a perfect carbon fiber model, like we're not talking about like a $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000 emerald carbon fiber instrument with the figured maple top, right? We're talking about this one right now. It's $300. Of course, it's not gonna be that, right? It's a $300 guitar on Amazon, and it's a 3/4 size, and it's small and compact, and I think the design is super cool. But how does it play? Well, the action is, I mean, it's slightly higher than I would typically have it. We could adjust the neck, we could adjust the saddle. The saddle seems to be just plastic, which is again fine. Same with the nut. And this is the price point that we're in, right? So let's not, you can't get hung up on details like that. It does come with the 11 gauge, the 11 to 50 phosphor bronze strings already on it. There's an extra pack in the bag when you get it. I would consider a little bit of neck work. I don't know that the frets need anything. We're going to do all of the frets. And I might, if I were in love with this guitar, I would replace the saddle and the nut probably with tusk material from Graphtec. That's what I would do. The tuners, they seem pretty stable. I didn't have any issue getting it tuned up. This is a cool feature. The truss rod cover is actually magnetic, so it slides in and out without having to screw anything, which is nice. You just have to make sure for aesthetic purposes that you keep it lined up properly. Other than that, this is what it sounds like. So just doing some cowboy chords. It's loud. Like, it projects really well. Even for any 3/4 sized instrument, it projects really, really, really well. It's loud. I'm looking at my peaks on my DAW, and it's, yeah, it's loud. So just in terms of range, it sustains nicely. It's nicely balanced. It's got a really good projection. It's got a really clean sound, a really nice, pretty warm tone also for a smaller guitar. If we're just doing single notes, like it. I think you could do a lot with it. This sounds like a really great travel-sized instrument. It's smaller than a standard-sized acoustic. Also a great one for kids. I might consider doing a 10-gauge string for kids. I know it's a very controversial statement, but I actually think it's better if the instrument is easy to play, so you don't discourage people from learning it. But really, really excellent sounding instrument for... Like, it sounds great. It's bright but not tinny. It's warm but not kind of boomy. I think the positioning of this soundhole has something to do with it, and yeah, I think it was a really clever design. Let's check those frets, because I said I wanted to see if there's any buzz, because I didn't do any fretwork on it. So we do have a couple there that are a little bit buzzy, which means probably the 15th fret on this end. So nothing on the B string, which means we might have a little bit of sprout on that 15th fret. We can tap that down, no problem. The third string sounds fine. Tiny bit there. Also on the 15th. Yeah, also the 15th fret. Okay, go to the A string. Sounds like the 11th fret might be giving us some problems. And the 6th string, no issues. So buzzing frets is one of the things that I've seen in some of the reviews on this guitar that people complain about. I'm going to say this as clearly and as plainly as I can. If you buy a new guitar and you expect it to be flawless out of the bag, you are setting yourself up for disappointment no matter what the guitar is. I have had, $5,000 Martins and Taylors come through my shop that have had wicked fret buzz. Brand new instruments, wicked fret buzz. The first thing to recognize, this part of the fretboard doesn't bend. So whatever you do with the truss rod, this part doesn't bend. So there's always the possibility something is going to snag here. And wouldn't you know, like, that's the actual problem area on this guitar. Very typical. It might buzz more if I take some of the relief out of the neck. We might find other kind of buzzing spots. Same thing if we lower the action, we might find other buzzing spots. But if you get a new guitar and you don't at least do your own setup or bring it to a professional for a proper setup, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, right? You've got to make sure that the guitar is in working order when you start playing it. This one, for 90% of the population that's going to be buying this guitar, probably as a first instrument or as a backup instrument or as a strumming instrument, there's no buzz in the range where you're actually doing the work. There's a little bit. Right. There's a couple of little buzzy spots. This is a really easy fix for somebody who knows what they're doing. It could be a couple taps with a fret hammer, or it could be a little bit of work with a leveling bar. Again, it's not a lot of work to do this, and I will often take with acoustics, because this part doesn't bend, I will often do a waterfall, which means basically from about here up, the frets get gradually flatter, because you're not shredding on this top fret here all the time like you would be down here. So if you taper these off, you remove the problem of these frets interfering with lower fretted notes. So that's the only issue that I've seen. Like I said, the action is slightly higher than I would like. That is true of every acoustic I've ever seen brand new. The action is always slightly higher than I would like, but even fingerstyle, and I don't have any nails today. harmonics. Nice and resonant. So that's it for the Donner G1 Rising carbon fiber guitar. Again, carbon fiber top, mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck. It's a 3/4 size guitar. It's, it's 38 inches. It's a smaller scale, but you know what? It's a good guitar. We're talking like $300 Canadian. And I think, honestly, for all the guitars that I've tried, $300 is a good price for this instrument. It's a quality instrument. It plays well. It sounds great. Really nothing that I could say wrong with it. Out of the box, it's what you would expect in the $300 range, and I think you're getting a good instrument out of it. So that's it for today. If you like this kind of video, make sure that you like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member of the channel, because that's what keeps the lights on around here. And yeah, check this out. I'm going to put the links to Donner and to both Amazon accounts in North America. They'll all be down in the description. Check this guitar out. In my opinion, absolutely worth it. What else is there to say, really, except have a great day.